goodbyes are always bittersweet. I'll be in the Warrens if you need me.
Yes? As you wish. This life is yours to command. They say the best bards are born with a vampire's charm. I don't know if that's a compliment. Alright, let's trade. Gladly. Forests protect us. No guard at the entrance? That's odd. Wow, they weren't kidding when they said this place was cold. 10 feet down and the dirt's already frozen solid. Wait, do you hear that? Sounds like fighting. Already frozen solid. Wait, you hear that? Sounds like fighting. Dead Thalmor, part of me wants to pat these bandits on the back. But we'll just have to settle for stabbing them in it. The trees are different in Skyrim. It takes a while to get your footing, but the real problem is the spacing. Not even the birds can make that good.
I'm gonna ask you one more time, you stupid bitch. Who are you? Why are you locked up? Oh, so we're gonna play it that way, are we? Well, I've got ways of making you... Hold on. Who's that?
Bravo. I rather enjoyed watching that man die.
Just doing our... Wait. You're not a merc. You're a ᵯᴑᴆᴆᴇᴆ.
A brilliant observation. What will you tell me next? That I'm not a man? Even Boland has more sense than you cretins.
Big talk from a woman in a cage.
And your words are empty, considering you aren't the one who put me in here.
That may be true, but we killed the man who did.
Him? You killed a flea. Still, he was ugly and malodorous, so for that you have my gratitude. What is it you wish to know? Ah yes, him. Supposedly he's in possession of something valuable to the cause. A name. This Khajiit came to the embassy insisting he knew the identity of a traitor in our group. In fact, some of his information was accurate enough to make high-ranking justiciars take pause. The Khajiit's price was unreasonable. It was nothing short of extortion. The justiciars decided the best way to extract the information was through torture. The barbarians likely took him. They think he's hiding some grand treasure. When they hear the word valuable, the imbeciles can't conceive of anything beyond gold and gems. But who knows where they live? Probably underground with the rest of the vermin.
I think you're lying. I think you know precisely where they are.
Maybe. But it's not what you think. I have no interest in finding or interrogating the sellsword.
You expect us to believe that?
I forget you Bosmer are as thick as the trees you worship. Killing the sellsword would only embolden his claim. Torturing him would only lead to more lies. When I look at him, I don't see a witness. I see a waste of a perfectly good whip.
Then why don't you tell us where to find him?
And why should I do that? What do I get in return?
Well, we can let you out of this cage for one.
You're braver than I thought. You do realize what you're saying, don't you? I could kill you both in an instant.
It occurred to me you'd try, but wouldn't it be easier just to tell us? You just give us a name and walk away. Far, far away.
Interesting. All right, I'll tell you where they are. On one condition. I'm coming with you.
What? You want to work together? You do realize I have a history with the ᵯᴑᴆᴆᴇᴆ. It's not the kind I want to revisit.
Believe me, it pains me as much as it does you. But these bandits killed justiciars. This cannot go unpunished. And suffice to say, I doubt you have the skill to do so.
Fine, but I don't want any stray spells hitting our Khajiit friend. Once the bandits are dead, you're welcome to leave. In fact, I insist you do.
My thoughts exactly.
Alright, door's open. Now where are these bandits from?
The one you killed. He mentioned a keep not far from here. We should start there.
Are we heading out?
Isn't it obvious? And I put myself in. Because when they asked the Khajiit for a name, he told them mine. I turned myself in to prove I was innocent. Barbarians, obviously. They see a door and they kick it down. It never occurs to them to use the knob. Normally, the justiciars would make swift work of them, but our numbers here have been dwindling. You wouldn't happen to know anything about that, would you? Ah, so that explains your friend's attitude. He certainly has Boland's sneer. But normal, you wouldn't happen to know anything about that. A Khajiit? Interesting. The rumors say it's the work of a blade, but I suppose it's irrelevant now. The damage has been done. But normal, you wouldn't happen to know any. I suppose you wouldn't. It was pointless of me to even ask. But normally, you wouldn't happen to know any. Agreed. They say it's the work of an Akaviri swordsman. A blade. Nonsense. The blades are all dead.
A wood elf living near a sawmill. I can just see Y'ffre shaking her head in shame.
Huh?
Over here!
So, how's it feel to be fighting for reasons that aren't completely evil?
The mortal concept of good and evil is based on perspective. For a vampire, the sun is wicked. For a plant, it is a source of nourishment.
Oh, so you're saying the Thelma are like vampires? Just misunderstood people who can't help but hate the sun. I'll remember that next time one of them tries to fight me.
I never said we were the vampires. I never asked you, Bosma. Why are you here? Why do you care what happens to this rug?
Some of us don't need a reason to help people. We were taught to do what's right.
Be careful! Can't wait to count out your coins.
Really think humans are lesser beings? Isn't it obvious we're just as flawed as they are?
That is what you don't understand. Flaws, imperfections. These are all constructs forced upon us by Talos in this pathetic world of his. When we ascend from this miserable plane, you will thank the Aldmeri for whatever pain we have wrought.
Sorry, but I have to disagree. There's no such thing as a perfect world. Because flaws are a product of free will, and a true paragon accepts people for who they are.
And yet you seek to punish the bandits who have adopted your stance on free will. Accepting flaws doesn't make you a paragon. It makes you a hypocrite. Wood Elf.
Yeah?
How can you insist on singing those irritating Nord tunes of yours? They're as awful as they are repetitive. It's almost like you want me to fill your ears with ice spikes.
Don't worry, Mithril. I won't be giving up my loot anytime soon. In fact, the more she hates it, the more it makes me want to play. So, Mithril and I were wondering, how's it feel to be fighting for reasons that aren't, you know, completely evil?
The mortal concept of good and evil is based on perspective. For a vampire, the sun is wicked. For a plant, it is a source of nourishment.
Oh, so you're saying the Thalmor are like vampires? Just misunderstood people who can't help but hate the sun. I'll remember that next time one of them tries to bite me.
I never said we were the vampires.
What did you need?
You picked a bad time to get... Halt, Outlander. Don't even think about it.
Think about what? You'll have to be more specific. Nair is not a mind reader. But Khajiit confesses he has not tried. Perhaps if you would let him rip open your skull.
Ha! Hope you're willing to back up those words with your fists.
Nair doesn't back up his words with fists. This one uses his claws.
You're a fool to fight me! Ah!
Ah, thanks for the assist. You don't look like bandits. What brings you here? This is good news. It will save Nair the trouble of doing it himself. And so many of you. Are you all here to help Nair? Today is truly his lucky day.
We're just adventurers, here to do a good deed.
Ah, adventurers. This makes sense. Nair is glad he will not have to kill you. After all, this one is popular with certain types of men. Bandits and bards, sellswords and swindlers. And sometimes even, the Thalmor.
Don't worry about her, she's just here to kill bandits.
That's poor advice, cretin. The furball should be worried. He should take great pains not to give me a reason to kill him, considering what he's done.
Ah, Nair understands. He would do his best to keep his words respectful and polite. Khajiit wouldn't want any premature deaths. Nair believes less is more. He fights with the claws the gods gave him, with a little assist from his enchanted ring. Together they deal more damage than any sword ever could. They were desperate for the name of Nair's client. This one put it in their head he would hire the best of them. This was a lie, of course, but the job is real. Nair is glad you asked. However, this is not the time or place for such a discussion. Perhaps if the three of you would accompany him to ᵯᴑᴆᴆᴇᴆ?
Forget it, Rug. I have no interest in your quest for pointless trinkets. Be thankful I haven't roasted you alive.
Tell me, ᵯᴑᴆ, do you really think it's a coincidence Nair spoke your name? Of all the ᵯᴑᴆ he has met in his travels, why yours?
You may have a point, but I have no time for riddles, furball. What are you getting at?
All will be made clear when we meet my client in ᵯᴑᴆᴇᴆ. The same goes for you, Bosmer.
Me? What did I do?
Do you really think the ᵯᴑᴆ imprisoned you over a song? Nair is the one who gave them your name. In fact, as this concerns all three of you, Nair asks that you all attend. The fourth member is already there.
And if we don't?
Oh, that would not be a good idea. Nair is very protective of his client. He would not like to disappoint him. Say no, and Nair might do something terrible. Like, rip out your entrails and feed them to crows. So please, try not to keep his client waiting.
What do you think, Pedro? ᵯᴑᴆᴇᴆ isn't that far from here, and I know my way. If anything, you should be more worried about the ᵯᴑᴆ. I'll meet you in ᵯᴑᴇᴆ. Don't worry, I can be quick when I need to.
I don't mind
Metro's
humoring
loot
this
is made of an
legend for a little
enchanted
longer.
I'm not
I'll meet
really
you two
sure
in
it makes a difference,
ᵯᴑᴆᴇᴆ.
but it sounds like it would.
Perhaps I'll be adding a new grave to my collection.